Okay, good morning. How are we? Happy Monday. Hope you enjoyed the snow yesterday. Any snowballs, snowman? Any pictures? Post below. Got a bit of sledging in actually, which was amazing. Kids absolutely loved it. And speaking of kids, leftovers, believe it now. Happened last lockdown actually. Just got into the habit of essentially, if they left a bit, forgive me, like, I'll just have a bit of that. I let them kind of have free reign of what they want, as long as, we can make our lives easier as parents by making sure the foods that are easy to grab are generally nutritious foods, whether that's fruit, vegetables, yogurts, little cheeses, something like that. Just so that, they have that independence, they can help themselves, and that's generally what we do. However, they're very in tune with their hunger, and we often ruin that by saying, no, you have to eat at this time, you have to eat all this food. Anyway, more on that another day. It's more about the picking and the snacking, but there can be times where, they'll eat a bit of an apple, a bit of a peach, and then I'm like, oh, a bit of a peach, a bit of an apple, that's all good, but I wouldn't have eaten it normally. And it just shows how powerful our environment is. And, we often blame willpower, but I would say 100% I eat more when the kids are at home than when they're at nursery. 100%. They just, seems like they eat all day. And every time there's food around, there's an opportunity to eat. And although, let's face it, my goals aren't exactly weight loss or anything like that at the moment, but it's still just eating for the sake of eating at times. And it's almost like, I'll just have a bit of that, a bit of leftovers. And that's something that I'm wary of at the moment, because it's just crept into my habits and my day. And it comes up a lot. I was speaking to one of the ladies the other day. That's actually her job, is a childminder, essentially. And she said, it's literally all the time I'm around food, chopping cheese, then I'm chopping this, then I'm chopping that, and it's just constant. So something that is important to do here is not to have a strategy of hope. So a strategy of hope would essentially be, I hope I have more willpower tomorrow. I hope I have more motivation tomorrow. I hope I have a good day today. Have you ever said that before? But the problem with this is that we are just gambling. And we're essentially, if you think about it, putting our energy levels, our potentially to some people wrongly, in my opinion, self-worth, the amount we beat ourselves up for not following through with things that we said we would do. And there is a lot to that. When we do things that we said we would do, we generally get a confidence boost. That's evidence for our brain that we can do it, and that makes us feel better. So if someone says, I'm not going to snack today, and they don't snack, they tend to get quite a dopamine hit, and they tend to feel quite that sense of achievement, like they've achieved something important, especially if you relate it to the things that you want to do and the reason why you're even doing it. Could be to lose weight so that you reduce your medication. Could be to get fitter so that I can get on the floor with the kids, grandkids, whatever it is, so that I have more energy to play with them, dance around, whatever it is, so that I can walk up that hill without being out of breath, so that, this is one thing that came up yesterday, so that my bra strap actually just fits around and my arms go around, whatever it is. These are just things that come up. And going back to the hope versus strategy, if you think about things like people say things like, I should have exercised for longer today, and people can perceive that as failure, or people can perceive that as, what's the lesson, what do I need to do, what's the strategy to overcome that? And here's what I mean. Someone could say, all right, I'm a failure, that's it, and they let that one instance dictate their next behaviour. Or you can say, I want to do more because there must be a reason why you're annoyed you only did X amount. There must be a reason, and it could be a wrong reason. It could be that you're just comparing yourself to someone else with a different lifestyle to you, with different expectations on them from others. So when you just ask the question, okay, I want to do more because this, and this, those reasons that are really important to you. What's the so that? I want to exercise so that I, whatever the reason is important for you, it has to be your reason, not my reason. I can't put words in your mouth. It just won't work. It has to be important to you. There must be a reason why you're beating yourself up for not doing it, whether that's planning meals, whether that's picking at kids' meals, whether that's not exercising, not having the motivation that you should have. I should have motivation. That's things we say to ourselves. So we've got to turn that into a strategy, okay? So we can turn that by saying, I will do insert exercise that you'll do on this date, insert the date and time. That's the difference. Write that down. That's a strategy, whereas the other one is just like, oh, I hope I'm good. I hope I have more motivation. And when you actually look back at this stuff, if you actually look back at it, and I bring this up a bit because one of the ladies, Janine, yesterday, she said, I shared her post actually, I've lost 4 pounds. I still find some of the exercises leave my joints aching. My muscles have recovered. I'm still doing 3 1-minute workouts a day. And it's a nice reminder that you don't have to be perfect to progress. And the truth is, we're always going to have an element of problems. And you can see these as blessings, as curses, or challenges. It depends what way you look at it. And you'll always reach new problems, curses, and challenges depending on how you frame it, even when you progress. So when you progress, the next one is, okay, how can I do more? Well, how can I do more? What can I do for this muscle? I now want to tone up here. I've lost this, but I want to do this. The next challenge might be like, I used to be really motivated. Now I'm not so motivated, but I'm still doing it. Your next challenge could be, oh, they're over there. They seem really motivated. Why am I not motivated? Yet you're doing the same amount of workouts. You've just perceived them to be more motivated than you. They could be no more motivated than you. And actually the facts would suggest they are no motivated than you. Because you're both doing 3 workouts a week, for example. Yet we have it in our heads that, and that's a challenge. That's a challenge that can come up. And it can then feels, you might get a bit of a dopamine hit, actually just putting it off, saying things then like, I don't have time, it's not the right time, I'm not fit enough. We can always have a reason, and these are legit reasons. These aren't just excuses, but it can fall into the trap of being very easy to say things like that. And when you actually look inside of that reason, often it's actually just a sugar-coated fear of failure, a fear of looking silly. Sometimes we don't want to say things like, oh, I tried this and I just couldn't do it. We don't want to say things like that. But then that comes down to our definition of what failure is. The people who get the best results pretty much fail the most times. They have the most weeks where they don't lose weight. They have the most weeks where they maybe put on a pound. They have the most weeks where they feel demotivated. But they're aware of it. They ask why. They question it. And that's the difference. They don't they don't dwell on it for long enough for it to impact them. They expect it. It's not going to be easy, but the alternative isn't easy either. The alternative isn't easy either. Staying the same isn't easy either. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So, I hope that helps. Any questions, as always, do let me know. If you want to come on to our 6-week Kickstart, send me a message. I'll get you the details on that. We have 4 ladies starting today. So, super excited about that. We are now off to Pilates, 6:30. Then we have Box and Bums at 7:15. Then we have Back to Basics with Julie at 8. Then 9:30 stretch. 12:15 lunchtime session. Then we have cardio bar, 6:15 p.m. and yoga, 7 p.m. and then meditation to finish the day. That is a lineup for today. So it just gives you the chance to come in live workouts when suits you. Hope that helps. Any questions, as always, do let me know and make it a great day. See you soon.